All right, so for our next activity, if I say 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, what is that? 3 raised to the 5th. Let's double check. So I'm multiplying it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, so it's 3 to the 5th, right?
243.
It's not 200, well, it might be 243. So now, what if I take the same thing and I say 3 times 3 times 3, that's 4 times 3. Could I write it like this and say 3 raised to the 4, right? Because in this one I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and over here I have 1. So can I say 3 raised to the 4 times 3 raised to the 1? But how many 3's do I have total? Well, I have 5 total because I'm taking 4 and adding 1 more to it, right? Does that make sense? What if I do this? If I say 3 times 3 times 3, put that in parentheses, times 3 times 3. How would I write that? 3 to the 3rd power times 3 to the 2nd power equals 3 to the 3 plus 2, which equals 3 to the 5th. So those are all the same. What is the pattern? Well, the pattern is this, that if I have the same base b raised to the letter n times the same base b raised to the m, isn't that the same as saying b to the m plus m? Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the general rule for that one. Don't worry, there's more general rules. Let's do another one. Now this is a tricky one. This one's slightly different. If I say 4 to the 5th power divided by 4 to the 3rd power, what does that mean? Well, in my numerator, I'm going to say 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. How many times? 5 times, right? Oops, I almost wrote down the number 5. And 4 to the 3rd power means what? 4 times 4 times 4. I'm going to turn the fan back on. It's getting hot in here. Okay. All right. So then can I rewrite this as 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 and get 4 times 4 times 4 on the bottom? Yeah. What happens when you divide something by itself? What do you get? 1. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I've got 1 times 4 times 4, which is the same as 4 squared, correct? All over 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1, which is really 4 squared. If you were to come up with a rule, what would the rule be? I'll get you started. If I say b to the m all over b to the n, that equals b to the what? m minus n. I'm going to switch these around so the convention is confused. I'm going to make, you can change this. I'm going to make this m, and I'm going to make this n. As usually they go in alphabetical order, m and n. Okay? So when you're multiplying, you add the powers. When you're dividing, you subtract the powers, basically. Does that make sense? Let's do one more property, and then we'll call it a day. The last one is the power of powers. If I say 5 raised to the third power squared, isn't that the same as 5, everything in the parentheses times itself 2 times? Yeah? Isn't that the same as 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5? How many 5s do I have? 5 to the 6, right? If you count those 5s, I have 6 5s up there. So what's the rule? If I have b raised to the m raised to the n, isn't that the same as b raised to the m times n? What's 3 times 2? 6, right? So let's do a practice problem on that. If I were to say to you, 7 raised to the second power raised to the fourth power, isn't that the same as 7 raised to the 2 times 4? But what's 2 times